Hey everybody, here for Love and Hip Hop Season 5, Episode 16. Let's get into it. So it starts off with Arian and K. Michelle. And Arian is back in Atlanta after shadowing K. Michelle in New York. And she's kind of feeling some kind of way because remember, K. Michelle left her at the venue or whatever. So she wanted to know why. K. Michelle explains to her, listen, I'm sorry, don't take it personal. It's just that when you're done at a venue, you gotta go. You can't stay in there and wait because you never know who come up to the car. So Arian understands and she tells K. Michelle, okay, well, ooh, sorry, y'all. Tired as always. She's like, well, I have big news. I've been recording songs. I've been in the studio. And, K. Michelle is like, okay, well, how many songs have you recorded? She's like, 1.5. So K. Michelle is like, okay, well, I hope that 1.5 song is like worth it. So she's like, well, I want to have a listening party for the song so you can let me know how you feel, what you think. So she says she already invited Rashida, Carly, and Mimi. K. Michelle doesn't get along with any of them. So, she invites K. Michelle, but K. Michelle is like, okay, well, I'll come only if you invite Jocelyn. So, Arian is really, really iffy with Jocelyn for the mere fact that Jocelyn and Mimi have this tiff now because of everything that Jocelyn did as far as making up lies and whatnot. So Arian is like, listen, I'll invite Jocelyn or for the strength of you, but I do have to be respectful of Mimi and her feelings. So we all know how that's gonna go when it happens. So now we get to Rashida and Kirk, and they're at their new house. They're having a housewarming. They're having it outside because she said that she just got the floors waxed inside or something like that. So they're having like basically a housewarming / barbecue thing going on. So Charlene and Ernest are there and they're talking. Mama D was invited and they're waiting for her to come. If she comes, Scrappy comes and he says hi to everybody or whatever. Then Mama D comes. Mama D apologizes for her behavior to Charlene, and Charlene reassures her, nothing fishy is going on between me and Ernest. He just needed somebody to talk to. So Mama D is like, well, I just did my last will and testament. Hate yawning when I'm doing a review. Goodness. But I gotta let it out. So sorry. Mama D is like, she did her last will and testament or whatever, and she left Ernest $1. And she put it like in this glass plaque looking thing, telling him don't spend it all in one place. I'm like, Mama D treat this man like crap. And he love her crazy behind. So, So now we get to drama and drama. Stevie and Jocelyn. So Stevie realizes that Jocelyn is a bad habit that he needs to kick. So, when Stevie meets up with her, Jocelyn is very stoic. She doesn't care. Jocelyn never cares. We know that. So Stevie just feels like Jocelyn is ungrateful, and Jocelyn is just basically like, you're a terrible husband. You treat me like crap. And then she's sitting up there. She picks up one of the flowers and she's plucking them. It's like as a symbol of each kid that he has. Basically saying that, including his 5 kids, he has like 3 or 4 other babies that she made up in her mind that he has. So Jocelyn is just over it. Stevie is over it. And he's like, you know what? You're very ungrateful. You don't love me. You don't respect me. And what you need to realize is that regardless as to... It's the third yawn. Regardless as to how you feel about this whole situation, I'm the boss and I'm always going to be the boss. I mean, I don't know how true it is considering that Jocelyn said that she's out of her contract. But I mean, who knows? And then it's like, what is Jocelyn actually going to do without Stevie managing her? Or be, shade. And I ain't got lemonade tonight, but shade, just a little bit of shade. Where is Jocelyn's career going to go without Stevie? Let's be honest. It's not going to go past YouTube or Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Just saying. But anyway, so now we get to Mama D. I'm not gonna lie. her in that order song. Her in that order song is a teensy bit catchy, but it's more hilarious than catchy. Because I don't know why people who rap feel the need to use auto-tune. You don't need auto-tune if you're rapping. And she auto-tuned the hell out of that song. In that order, 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 in that order. Okay. It's catchy. I can't help it. It's catchy. Okay? But yeah, she's performing it. God, why is she performing it? But anyway, after the performance, Scrappy arrives to congratulate her. She's still trying to hook Scrappy up with Betty. Scrappy like, I don't want no parts of Betty. She cool and everything. She's a pretty girl, but I don't want no parts of Betty. I want your blessing to propose to Bambi. Mama D is like, what? I thought the band was out the palace and da-da-da-da-da. And then she started talking about foreskin, if you peel foreskin back or something like that. I'm just like, lady, what are you talking about? So Jock is all for it. Jock is like, listen, if it makes you happy to propose to Bambi, I'm for it. Congratulations. And he's like, yeah, Bambi is the only girl that showed me unconditional love. She loved me through all the craziness. And, I want to be with her. So Mama D finally realizes, she may not like Bambi, but she has to accept the fact that that's who her son loves. She can't tell him who to love. I'm like, finally, Mama D, you know how to mind your business. Because for the past 5 seasons, 4.5, you've been in this boy business in his relationships, ruining relationship after relationship after relationship. So I'm glad you finally realized you can't tell him what to do anymore. You should have realized that after he gave birth, well, not him, but after he had his first child and he first proposed to Erica and whatnot. But she didn't have a man then, so that's why she was in his business. But anyway, so now we get to King's birthday party. And Tierra and KK are together. Tierra arrives to help finish setting up. And J Nix is there with her. So KK feels a way that J Nix is there because Scrap is not home. And, he's like, well, it's not a problem. Out of respect to you and to Scrap, I'll leave. So she told him to leave. So KK tells Tierra, you could do better. He's a nerd. And he isn't cute. So I'm like, dang, KK, but where your man at? Oops, shade. Yes, it was. So, anyway, Sass arrives and all the other guests arrive. And, Sass made a promise to Scrap that he'll hold down the fort while Scrap is away. King is at his party. He's having a ball, enjoying himself. And then Scrap calls in. So Scrap is on the phone with him. And he's like, you enjoy your party. I love you. You're my best friend. Go enjoy. I don't want you crying. So Tierra basically, she knows that King is feeling it because his father is gone. But she wants to try to make things easier by keeping him around his family. His uncle, his grandma, all the family that were close to Scrap or whatever. She wants to make it easy for King to, adjust to the fact that his dad isn't there, which I think is a good idea. But from looking at Instagram, that ain't last long because Tiara and KK was beefing, or rather Tiara was going in on KK on Instagram. But whatever. Now we get to Stevie and Mimi, and Stevie is filming some commercial or something for his sparkling wine called Moreno. Ain't that a birth control pill? No, that's Morena. Stevie. That's a little too close to the birth control pill. Is this wine going to prevent pregnancies? I'm just saying. It's just a thought. But, lo and behold, Delicious is his model. I mean, I love Delicious. Pretty girl. Seems a bit attention starved to me. But I love her. Just a tad bit attention starved. But I love Delicious, She's not thirsty for attention. But she seems a tad a bit attention star. But you know what? Make your money, girl. Make your money. You're a beautiful girl. Make your money. Model. Do whatever you gotta do. Get them checks, honey. So, Mimi arrives to the set. Stevie tells her he's not mad at the child support, but they both agree that Jocelyn is hateful. Stevie wants to free himself from Jocelyn, so he's grateful that they didn't really get married or have babies. So Mimi explains that she just put him on child support for boundaries. They don't have boundaries, but she really wants him to get it together. He promises to get it together, and they promise to move forward, which is cool. I mean, Stevie and Mimi went through their ups and downs, but they have always remained a tight-knit unit. Like, you know, they've always been cool with each other, even in all the drama and whatnot. So we get to Bambi and Scrappy. So Scrappy, you know, he's saying ever since his talk with Tammy, you know, he agrees that he needs to step it up. So I think did he rent a house or did he buy a house? He did something. I don't know. It was like a backyard or something. And he invited Kirk and Rashida there. Mama D and Ernest was there. And Mama D says that, you know, her and Ernest is going to work it out or whatever. Tammy arrives. Bambi's mother arrives with, I guess, her husband or her boyfriend or somebody. But, you know, Scrappy invited all these people to show all of these people how much he loves Bambi. And he gets down on one knee, proposes to Bambi. She says yes. Everybody's happy. Now, I'm hoping that this proposal is not crazy like the one with him and Erica, because that one was a mess. But, I mean, it seems like they're doing good. They're planning their wedding. They're going through with it. So, I mean, that's a good thing. But, you know, congratulations to them. And, you know, wish them happiness. So now we get to Tommy. And this was like a really deep scene and the realest I have ever seen Tommy. And it kind of makes you feel a little bit bad for her. So she's at the therapist after KK is telling her, you know, you need to speak to somebody because you are spiraling. So she's at the therapist and the therapist is asking her, you know, what's a Tommy day like? And she's like, she likes to drink, but she knows she overindulges. So she's saying her Tommy day would be, you know, she wake up, fly and fresh, you know, put on makeup, hang out. But she knows that she drinks, and she drinks when things get heavy. And she's telling the therapist, you know, she's missing Scrap. You know, that's the one person who brought her comfort. Now he's gone. You know, she's the sister of 7 kids. I think she's the only girl. She lived in death. Like, death is all she knew. She went from a juvenile to jail every single year of her life, and she has her anger from her dad. Her dad was away for 17 years, lived free for a year, and he was killed. So she's angry at the fact that he was never there for her and that she's just like him. So she just wants to get rid of those demons, and she's wondering why her success isn't happening. So the therapist is challenging her to work on that. You know, think about what's going on in your life and why the things you want to happen aren't happening for you. So, I mean, it was good to see the real side of Tommy, you know, besides all the bipolar craziness. You see why she's angry, and you see why she acts the way she acts. So, you know, hopefully things will get better for her. Tommy is a beautiful girl. She just needs to get her anger under control. So now we finally get to Arian's listening party. D. Smith is there. Mimi, Carly, and Rashida arrive. And Arian says that she wasn't going to invite Jocelyn, but she owes it to K. Michelle to invite her. She just doesn't want to regret her decision in inviting Jocelyn. So her song she introduces the song, her song plays. I like the song. It kind of sounds like she got auto-tune in it too, just a little bit. But I like the song. For Arian, it's a nice song for her. Her voice sounds very smooth, you know, so it's a nice little song. So right after the song is finished playing, Jocelyn and Dawn arrive, and they're sitting at the bar by themselves. Jocelyn came in there with her shades on, like she's about to throw major palm trees and insults at this entire listening party. You know, she's just sitting there like very, very unbothered. and she just doesn't care. So like the whole moment is awkward. Arian comes over and tells them to sit in the area, the VIP area that they're in. So it's awkward. Everybody in that booth got beef with Jocelyn. Her and Carly fell out. Her and Mimi fell out because of the child support thing. Her and Rashida never really had a relationship. They always threw shade at each other. So the only person that's like in the middle is Arian. So Mimi just feels like Jocelyn has hatred for her because Stevie still loves her. And Arian is sitting next to Jocelyn, and Jocelyn is like, oh, can you move so I can have space? I'm like, chick, this is her listening party. She could sit wherever she want to sit. Are you serious? Like, Jocelyn was upsetting me and annoying me in this scene. So Jocelyn and Mimi argue, call each other all kinds of B's and MFers and all this other stuff. And one of them threw a drink. Jocelyn threw a drink at Mimi. Mimi just sat there and ate those like she always be eating the hits that she gets. She don't even fight back. She just be... K. Michelle hit her with flowers. She ate that. Jocelyn threw a drink in her face. She ate that. She just be eating those. So, Arian is upset because she feels like, this whole thing was ruined and whatnot, and she should have known better than to invite Jocelyn. So now we get to the last scene where they talk about each person and what they're doing. Carly is married to her career and her coins and ain't thinking about a guy. Whatever. Tammy is taking space and time to figure things out. Her and her daughter are moving out of the house that her and Waka share. So, new beginning. Mimi is living life without regrets, and now she's passionate about interior design. Mimi, I'm all for you having multiple businesses. Do you, boo. Get your coin. But every season you have a new job. Why? 1 minute you're cleaning houses. The next minute you managing. The next minute you are interior designing. I mean, do you? You can do more than one thing, but Jesus. Find your niche. Your niche, whatever. So K. Michelle is, of course, still selling her albums and whatnot, making her coins and whatever, and she's like, she'll forever reign. She's the queen, and technically speaking, K. Michelle is, because she's the most successful Love and Hip Hop artist. I think out of all 3 franchises, yet nobody really blew up like her. Nope. Nobody really blew up like K. Michelle from Love and Hip Hop. Yeah, K. Michelle is doing her thing. You think about it. Mama D was filming the video for In That Order, and she's saying, her stars are in line, but it's crazy in the palace. So she's going to keep her eye out for what's going on in the palace. KK and Sass are walking to the courthouse or something like that because she was randomly charged for thefts. KK, you a criminal. How you randomly charged for something? You're a criminal. We know it. So Tierra, this was the big shocker for me, taking a pregnancy test. She pregnant. It just ended on that note. And I'm like, ooh, is Jay next to daddy? Jocelyn she feels better because she's managing herself and she's happy. Stevie feels like a free man and he cheers with Delicious to his freedom, and it basically ended there. This season was annoying. It was annoying. I'm glad it's over, and it was just a lot going on. It was a lot going on this season, but what else can you expect? I'm glad that that's one hair sticking out. I'm glad that the season is over. This season, like I said, was all over the place. But it was okay for the most part. Now, from what I see, they didn't have a reunion. They just had a sit down because they're afraid that the fighting and everything, because Jocelyn got beef with basically everybody on the cast. So they were afraid of fights breaking out and violence happening. So they made it a sit down as opposed to a reunion, which I think is a little bit, it's smarter, but It's a little weird, but we'll see how it goes. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. And I see you guys in the next video. Later.